The Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience. I want to let everyone know to smash the like button and leave a 5-star review on the audio podcast. And if you want to catch up on this series, hit the description of this video and or podcast, and you can find every episode of Cust Corner.
Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. He's got the hottest takes with the highest stakes. He should be president of the United States, but it's Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner, hee 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 hee.
That's not what people have been calling it, thankfully.
Well, I mean, if you try to search anything besides Cust Corner, and this is the 28th version of Cust Corner, Tim, then you probably would not have anything else come up in your search. You have to search it that way or you won't find it.
No, well, despite what you're saying, there's a lot of people, there's a groundswell that have, that have opposed that, and I have to say, good for them. For winning.
The third member of this edition of Cust Corner, because we recycle through guests, is none other than Geoff Fienberg. What's going on?
Always happy to be here, and it's amazing that Tim could think he's winning a debate like this. Because like 6 people like glad hand him. He's winning a debate to Pat's like 70,000 followers.
And the people that are actually calling Tim TC or Top Cat are just trolling him. He just likes to live his truth to the point where that doesn't affect him. Just even if it's like mean-spirited in his direction, he's choosing to take it as a compliment. No,
a lot of people, particularly in like direct messages, will finish them by saying all the best TC or something like that.
Well, we are doing this, recording it in advance because I am likely off on paternity leave at the moment while people are watching this. But it's the first like quarantine edition that we've done of Cust Corner. So, Geoff, do you have any quarantine-specific things that we know? It's either Tim brings up something, I bring up something. Very rarely do we throw to Geoff. Do you have anything in the canon here that you want to start with?
Quarantine, I'm just not in like a good place overall. I just don't feel right. It just everything, just nothing. I don't know. Like, yes, clearly, like there's like a void, but I just don't feel right. By no means like depressed. Like things are like way too good, and I think me and my wife are like killing it, like personally as a team on the home front. But I think I'm eating a ton, and people like can even laugh at what I'm about to say, but I think like there's probably video evidence, just like the evolution of me. Like just go look at podcasts with you. But I swear to you, coming out of Florida, I was probably in as good of like a shape at like some of my lowest weight I've been at like since I've known you, Pat. And I literally had a physical like 4 days after that trip, like right before I guess Corona was a couple weeks later. And like, I even had a stress test like on my heart. Like I was in a good spot. And I feel like I'm putting weight on. I'm eating a ton. I'm drinking soda. I'm like bored to shit. I don't know. It's like, it's all a blur.
Yeah, I can get behind that too. Like, normally I'm pretty regimented in like the structure of my day-to-day and week-to-week because sports are going on and my job involves doing shows about sports. I know what time I'm going to be at the office every day. I know what time I can go work out every day. I generally have my meals planned like, hey, I'm going to eat at this time, and this time, and this is what I'm going to eat. I'm a very structured individual because if I'm not, I tend to go completely off the rails. So I've come to sort of a new normal in terms of quarantine in my day-to-day, but where I am home so much, I'm kind of like you. I'm eating way more than I ever thought I would. And I didn't even intend to eat. Just I'm at home, I'm doing nothing. It's like, yeah, I'm kind of hungry. Might as well go eat something. If I'm at the office and I'm working, then it's not like I'm going to go pop out and get something to eat. So I think that's been the hardest part for me of all of this. But Tim, Paul actually threw out something to me is how long is it going to be before people in public are not distrustful of other people anymore?
I don't know. That's a very good question. I hope not long, because we cannot live as a society if we see each other first and foremost as vectors of disease and not as fellow people. Our society can't sustain that, and because of that, it won't sustain it. Right? That's the old Herb Stein line: things that can't go on forever will not go on forever. So probably less time than a lot of people think. I am neither a doomer nor am I a super positive person in the sense that things are going to get better right away, but I'm certainly not a doomer either. I'm sort of in between. And I think that people will see each other in auspicious ways for a while, but they'll get over it because they have to get over it, because that's just the way human beings are. They learn to adapt and they learn to move on. I mean, that's what, when Darwin writes about evolution, it's not about the strongest surviving. It's not about the fastest surviving. So that's not what works. The species that survive are those most adaptable to change. That's actually the actual point of the origins of the species. And I think that's what we're going to see, is that people are going to learn how to adapt.
It's weird because I don't really go out to many places. I know this is different from city to city, town to town, country to country, no matter where you're watching this, that there are different rules in place. But it does seem like, Geoff, when you go grocery shopping or you go to pick something up at the store, go get gas, whatever it might be, like the social distancing is one thing. People trying to, like, it's weird because there's stuff on the floor when you walk into places, like stand on this X. As people have pointed out, that if you stand on an X and you're familiar with like Looney Tunes cartoons, like there's going to be an anvil dropped on your head. So I can see why people don't trust that as much unless you have a parasol with you, a mini one. But I find it really weird when people don't get up in my face, but they don't. There's like a certain segment of the population just like, whatever. Like, I'm going to walk right by you. And like, it's not that I care. It's just really jarring at this point because like so few people are actually doing that like I was standing in line for groceries. Everyone's kind of like apart, like 6 feet apart, 8 feet apart, whatever. And I was just standing there, like some person comes up and stands like within half a foot of me. Like, that's too close for like normal days. But I don't know what the fuck this person's doing. And like, I feel like the asshole because I'm like, what's really the difference at this point? Like, it's just a really weird spot to be in.
I completely agree. Like, firstly, I'll start off by saying, I think here, I don't know, it could be different everywhere. My interactions out in public, I think everyone seems to be like trying hard, like I haven't seen anyone like blow up or freak out kind of. It does seem like people are trying to be very respectful for the most part from what I'm seeing. But I was at, we've been doing a lot of takeout. We're not afraid of it. We're not afraid. I know people are still afraid to like eat out. We aren't. We're going to support the places around us. The like doomsday scenarios of like stores closing and needing to like have everything you need in like a freezer doesn't really seem like it's going to be like ever the case, assuming it doesn't get worse than the peak of, the first paranoia of it. And, people are waiting outside because it's all like counted off at the door, which is, the stores are doing a good job. And I'd argue a lot of these places are probably cleaner than they've ever been now. These kitchens, these parts, I don't know, at the restaurants, I would guess. But one person like in the line, as you said, there's kind of like marked spots and like kept getting like 2 feet from me. And I don't really care, but like, it does seem like there's like an overall vibe of people that care. So like, you kind of always get closer to me than I would like to take 2 steps forward, and that like increasingly annoyed the person in front of me in line. But I don't know. I don't want to be I'm ready to get things going. I make dumb bets all the time. I take risks. I don't know. There's a part of risk in life.
Well, it's different. It's different for us where we live versus somewhere where like Tim lives. Because like as we're recording this, what do you say? There was like 1 case per day, Tim?
Yes, thankfully.
Yeah, and like where we're at, just that's not the case whatsoever.
No, but the population you have there is significantly larger, and you're in the province, and the province, of course, is massive. So.
Yeah, but just localized to where we are being in a big city with a condensed population is a bit different than like I think we've seen most of the places that are the most severely impacted are the ones that just have massive condensed populations.
Sure. And I think urbanization is, if there's any real consequences from this, I think fewer people are going to be living in cities after this. I
have a lot of concerns about. They're not so much.
Like I think we've seen peak city living. Put it that way. I think.
Are these downtown like office towers, like that commercial office real estate? Like, is it screwed?
I don't know that it's screwed.
As
That's too strong.
companies try to get some money back or realizing
Yeah.
we're smart to save, they realize, why do we need to pay these exorbitant leases? I can hire, this process will let you show you that you could trust certain employees at home, but even you get bad employees at the office too. So any company is trying to weed out bad employees at home or if they're in the same building.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I think there's truth to that. I think the idea that we're going to be living in a world of far more teleworking is a myth. I think that in a lot of ways it is going to snap back hard.
Well,
People are going to have missed the old world so much that when possible, like I bet you the first season of Major League Baseball attendance records are going to go through the roof when people can attend again. There'll be more face-to-face meetings in that first 6 months than you've ever had before once it's safe to do so. I mean, I think there is a point about line items on budgets that there's going to be reduction in rental space. I think there's no question about that. But this idea that we're going to be living in a teleworking, most people working from home world, I think is fanciful. And I think that's what some people really want it to be. And so they say that. But I actually don't see much evidence for that.
Well, I mean, if you're going to say on one hand that fewer people are going to be living in cities and peak city living is over, yet people aren't going to be teleworking, I don't see how those two ideas can exist.
I didn't say people aren't going to be teleworking. There is going to be more teleworking. But the idea that like 60, 70, 80% of the workforce is going to get used to being teleworkers.
I don't know who you're arguing with that, though. Like that
you see,
who is saying this?
There are a ton of people who are saying that this is the future of work. And I don't know. I honestly, the thing is, I have no idea. And really no one has any idea. One of the things that this has taught me, this whole experience has taught me, and I hope it's taught other people this, is one, you and I have almost no control over our lives in the ways that we think we do. And the second is that the things we think we know for sure, we know so little about that we should take. So in other words, it's an effort in, humility. I know a lot less than I thought I knew, and my life is a far less in my control, which in some ways is liberating. If I can't control things, then why am I worrying about them? Why am I stressing about them? Some good things, some stoic values can come out of this, that I really shouldn't be focusing too much on the things I have zero control over. And what this thing has taught me is that I have control over very little in my life, because a little thing like this can arise, a virus, and can upend the entire world. And so that's been instructive. And I mean, the reason we're feeling uncomfortable is because we are used to being free, and we have had our liberties infringed necessarily, and we hate it. We absolutely despise it, but we know we have to do it anyway. So that's been instructive too, that the reason we've got such malaise is because people actually love their freedom in the sense of what it means. It means being the captain of my own ship. That is what I want to be. And yet I'm not able to do that. And for many of us, I don't know when I can be again. These are the lessons that I've learned. I think that if you haven't had some serious reasons to doubt the things you thought you knew and really check the things you believed, you have not quite understood what this is all about.
I have seen, though, too, what Tim was referring to, Pat. I don't know whether it was Vice or Vox or one of these like media outlets that are fringe, but I've seen it around for a while, wrote like this whole piece on how like the death of the like office real estate, like the having floors in these high-rise downtown towers could be dead.
I mean, I can see that. I think the cost of something like that would go way down, because it's two distinct things to say, hey, everyone's going to be teleworking, therefore they're going to move out of the cities. Or to say that people won't be coming into the office as much as they did. Like, people are still going to own and lease these places. Maybe the demand for them goes down and the price for them goes down. Even I would actually find that hard to believe, because there's always people willing to pay some of these prices. But instead of coming into the office 5 days a week from 9 to 5, maybe you pick the 3 days a week you come in, the 2 days a week you come in, then work the rest of the time from home. If it's been proven to your company that you can ably work from somewhere else. Like there's always going to be stuff that you need to do face to face, but maybe it isn't imperative to be there every single day. And if that's the case, because I know a ton of people, like especially where we're at, they commute an hour and a half to 2 hours to get downtown both ways every single day. Like it only seems like it would increase productivity if you didn't make them allocate 10 hours a week to do that.
Maybe. And in some cases, yes. In some cases, no. Not everybody's wired the same way, right? Not everyone's wired that way. Some people are wired to only really be able to work in an office setting, and some people are wired to be more effective in the environment that they control. Some people need to be managed more. Some people need to be managed less. There's no solution to that problem. Because it's human nature, and we're diverse, and we're different, and we all have different ways that we need to be dealt with and managed and organized, and how we organize ourselves. But if the impact of the virus is a significant curbing on what life, like what city life is like, whether it be the types of restaurants or bars or experiences or plays that you can have, if that has long-term effect, people aren't going to pay those exorbitant rates to live in cities because the value of living in a city has been vitiated. So why in heaven's name would I pay a ton of money to live in a shoebox? And the reason I'm doing it is because there's so many other fun things. But if I've lost a lot of those fun things, then I would be out of my mind to stay in that city. I would go elsewhere. Of course you would. That's human nature.
Do you think that all of this is your fault when you brought up Fortnite concerts and how ridiculous that was? Now the only concert you can go to is a Fortnite concert?
Yeah, I mean, joke's on me, right? I mean, I have been to like one concert in 5 years. I'm not a concert guy. The next time I'm able to go to a concert, I am going. I'm one of these people that I will follow the rules for as long as required. But when the rules are released, I'm going. I have also learned from this to stop taking ordinary things for granted, because they are not granted. Nothing is guaranteed to you. Again, it's part of the point I was making, that so little in this world is in your control. I'm going to go out and do a lot of things I wouldn't usually not do, only because I should be doing, because I miss them. It's only in their absence that I realize that I miss them. And I hope a lot of other people do too. Now, there will be some people who will be permanently scarred by this, right? We have stories of knowing grandparents and great-grandparents whose lessons they learned in the Great Depression never went away. And they lived the rest of their lives, 40, 50, 60 years, in the aftermath of how the Depression molded and shaped them. There are going to be millions of people, I think, who are shaped and molded by this experience forever, which is why there's no snapping back to a normal. But we have no idea what that's going to look like, what that's going to mean, what a reduction in 10% of the market share does to almost every bit. We just don't know. And it would be foolish of us to pretend that we do know. All that we know is that people are going to decide what they're going to do.
Now, sorry.
Go ahead, Paul.
I just wanted to know a list of things that Tim deems necessary.
What do you mean, sorry, by necessary?
Yeah, I kind of missed it was a question. It doesn't really, I lost the context of it because it was like 2 minutes ago. You said that like there's a whole list of things that you deem necessary that you're not able to do. I just wanted to know what those things were.
If I said necessary, that was the wrong word. There are things that I miss because I wasn't able to do them. I didn't think they were necessary for the good.
You always thought they were evergreen.
Yeah. I didn't realize that for the good life, which is really, the purpose of people living society and purpose of polities is the good life. And I realized how much of the things that make a good life.
What are the things?
Mall walks.
Concerts, seeing people, sporting events, being able to, when I wake up in the morning, decide for the most part what it is that day's going to look like for me, to have some control over it. And yeah, I mean, as much as I can. So when I am able to control things more again, I'm going to do it. And I think it's necessary for the good life, which is why things can't continue forever, because people just simply won't stand for it, because human nature won't allow for it. Again, I'm very conflicted on this, because I think in one sense, it's impossible for things to go on like this much longer. But I'm also certain that it's impossible to open things up very quickly, because people won't go to them. So we're faced with two impossibilities, and I have no idea what will happen.
Well, I'll tell you, my kids better be allowed to sleep at their grandparents at like now.
Well, I mean, I again, yeah, I stuff like that is the government didn't control people seeing their grandparents or not, and the government's not going to control when people see their grandparents again. Like people are just going to decide to do it on their own.
That is true. And I have sort of in this battle with my wife and like sort of my mom. My mom is like ready. She's ready. She wants him. She's ready, you know. And I know Pat's got no sympathy for me because, you know, his support system's an airplane away. But I've been accustomed to like every other weekend, a sleepover.
It's heartbreaking.
Now someone, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, hold on. It's not so much less heartbreaking as what Geoff is getting at is he has no time off anymore.
No, but it's heartbreaking
and
for
I
the
just
grandparents.
got used to it. Like I used to like. Obviously, we'd keep the baby, and my mom would take the 3-year-old, and she'd be happy to do it, and my kids thrilled to spend the night with my mom and my dad and the dog, and I don't know. We're all just ready. We're all ready for it. But you are right. That is people I'm sure have already done that. That's like an individual decision to make when people feel comfortable. It's not really a group gathering.
No, the government is like Ferris Bueller at that parade, right? When it comes to stuff like this, that it's the parade's already happening. They just jump in front of it and they pretend like they're leading it.
Yeah, and I think even the premier here in Ontario kind of alluded to like, I don't know, like I'm seeing my parent or his mom might have passed, but he's like, I don't know, I got 2 other kids. I think I've seen them, and then he kind of caught himself by not wanting to, but fully break down what sort of social distancing rules he may or may not have breached, but I agree.
So, like, my son is seeing his grandparents and great-grandparents more now than he probably ever would have outside of this ever happening, because we FaceTime them in or Skype them in basically every single day. And that's something that we would do maybe once a month before.
And that's a great positive externality from this.
It is.
But there's a great many people for whom the opposite is true, right? And for whom artificial communications just simply isn't sufficient. And for those people, your heart has to break. Mine does. I think of all these poor people in retirement homes who can't see their families.
Yeah.
And who can't go visit people in retirement homes, who might never see them if they get sick again. If that doesn't make you want to cry, I don't know how you have a soul. It's absolutely just heartbreaking. And this stuff is going on in so many other ways that we're not even thinking about that are crushing, which is why...
If you are not able to properly mourn a family member's death, there could be long-lasting, like, residual impact from that.
And what's hard, and the hard thing is there's nothing you can do about it. Again, it's that complete lack of control. I mean, the lesson learned is you and I have so little control over our lives that we maybe need to just realize, okay, this is what the Stoics have been teaching for 2,000 years. Most of the things in this world you can't control in the least. You shouldn't be getting yourself emotionally involved in any single thing at all. Anything that could be taken from you or could go away doesn't deserve the whole of your emotional control. You have to learn to just realize that I can only control these little things, and the rest are just going to come and they're going to go. And
so why did we spend all that time getting worked up over an NFL schedule?
Because it's next to impossible to live those truths, and we get upset because we are craving normalcy. I'm craving it. You're craving it. Those are the things I want to be upset and worked up about. It's all very distressing stuff,
and people won't come back from it. People won't. This might be an extreme scenario. He's also like ultra rich and could have 5 houses and live a better life than never having to return to Manhattan. But I've brought up Howard Stern a bunch over the years on this show and recently, but I don't know, the end of him might be just like at home in his basement doing that show. Like that's how he's gonna go out, because he's never stepped. He's pretty much alluded to might need to be like 2 years before he dares steps foot in Manhattan again. Like
people say stuff like, on the flip side, people say things like that because it's easy to say, but not actually true. You're just like professional athletes who say, I'm not playing in until there's a vaccine. Well, there may never be a vaccine. We can't be guaranteed to that. So you can't go around saying things like that because you can go around saying things like that, I suppose, but you shouldn't, because A, you don't know what's going to happen, and B, you don't know that you actually mean it. And so it may be the case that he's not comfortable in 2 years, but it may very well be the case that in 6 months from now, think of what life was like 6 months ago from now till now. If you think you have the slightest idea what 6 months from now looks like, you are a visionary. And I doubt that you are.
Well, do you find it strange that, I mean, I'm shockingly enough that you and I, it seems like the three of us all agree on this, but there's a lot of not only online victory lap people about stuff that happens like day to day, but like, no, here's how it's going to be. If you think differently, like, you're basically a moron. Like, I find that's such an absurd stance to take. And I see the people I know making these things. Like, it's really bizarre to me.
They have no control over their own lives. So this is a way they can assert some sort of control in the world by asserting themselves as experts on this thing and take a glee in it. Like that sort of a nasty smile about, oh, well, you'll never see your grandparents again. Like those people, like that's how they find a way to grapple with the loss that they have in the world. And for whom I have great sympathy for too.
It's less about that type of person, and Geoff, I think I know you know like the sorts of people that I'm talking about. Like, I have no problem with people. Listen, we tout golf picks that are generally losers, that kind of thing, and when golf comes back, we're gonna do exactly the same thing. We talk about football; it's gonna be that sort of thing too. But like, I see like stock people are really bad at this. Like, stock people have basically become Bitcoin people at this point in terms of like their weird victory laps, like all the time, and all that. To me, like when I read that sort of stuff, it just shows like, oh, like you have nothing going on and you have too much money to know what you're doing with. And like most people are not in that bucket. Like 95% of people are in the other bucket. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. Listen, I completely agree with what you're saying. And if you have that kind of money to like be taking victory laps on like day trades, I don't know, good for you. I certainly don't at the moment, especially in these times, but I see what you are seeing and I'm not surprised by this, but it's very common. There's a lot of people, listen, I'll make wrong statements all the time, but I'll say them confidently. And there's things I like to talk about, like you said, like golf, like football. But I think, there's I don't pretend to be an expert at things I don't know. Well, I guess people are laughing at that, but I know I don't know this stuff and how the world will look. So I don't have any clue, and I completely stay out of it and don't get into any of it, whether it be stock tips or lizard people.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one of those things where when you know, as it's been explained to me. But like, whether it's even the stock stuff, like as most stock people will tell you, like the stock market is highly unpredictable anyway. Like if you can make a buck on it, that's awesome. It's just the weird victory lapping about it, whether it's up or down, seems strange. It's like all the people, Tim, that overnight became coronavirus experts. Like, really? Like this is the lane that you've chosen to take?
Yeah. I would advise people not to go on r/coronavirus. There's nothing healthy there.
Really?
There's a lot of people who are. It surprisingly, it's just mostly doomsayers and people who are just armchair experts who think it's their God-given right to know everything about a thing they'd never heard of before 4 months ago. So like that bothers me a lot. But then I read things like, for that example, this morning one of the counselors in Los Angeles said they expect their stay-at-home lockdowns to last for at least 3 more months. No, they're not. They're not going to last for 3 more months either. That isn't an option. So, like, I'm torn between people saying, oh, well, with certainty, the stay-at-home orders will be in place for a very, very long. They're not going to be. People are just simply not going to put up with that. And at the same time, how could they not be? Because this is not going to go away. So what I mean, we're constantly faced with impossibilities, and people don't know how to cope with that. People have no idea how to cope with the fact that the world around them is impinging on them in a million ways, and they don't understand it, and they can't do anything about it. And it's just, and logical impossibilities are striking them at every turn.
And I feel like we sort of alluded, well, no surprise, but when this sort of all began, sort of like, okay, you're asking us to shelter, to quarantine. I'm going to be a good sport. I'm prepared to be a team player, but we're all going to have our breaking points. We're like, I'm not playing for the team anymore. Like, I don't give a shit. I got to get this done, and I'm going to get it done for me and my family. That's it.
Yeah, you need some plate appearances so you can get a few more home runs and juice up your next contract.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to be the closer because saves get paid in baseball more than the guy who pitches the eighth inning. Like you start thinking about it selfishly for yourself at a certain point.
Yeah, absolutely. But you also feel like you're allowed to, because part of you will be like, I don't know, I was a team player for 10 weeks. I did everything they asked me to do.
And if you're staying home and behaving yourself and a ton of other people aren't, then aren't you a fool?
Yeah.
In some ways, like, why would I allow myself to be self-quarantined when the whole world is doing other like that stuff affects you as well? It has to.
I feel like the people who don't leave at all they're terrified a lot of the times to leave. I feel like the people who, they're trying to be as safe as possible, but they're gonna still go out and do some stuff. I feel like
I've been going out frequently. It's a good point, Paul. Like, I'm not one of these people who's afraid to go out, and I don't understand, unless you're immunocompromised or with somebody who's I don't understand staying inside 23 hours a day. I get out every day for a walk, go to the grocery store a couple times a week. I go for a drive when it's sunny. I always social distance. I play by the rules, but like, these people are like, oh, I haven't left my house in 4 weeks. Like, I think that's alien.
Madness.
That's not a alien approach.
And I don't
I think it's
glad
strange.
hand those peoples. I don't glad hand those people in my inner circle. Like I've kind of maybe went over the line in harassing my friend who's like too afraid to get a pizza. But I think that's like insane. And I'm so confident that these pizza places, and like I was saying before, any places, I feel like they're actually cleaning exponentially more than they would before.
Definitely.
I think they're cleaner. So I don't know, that person is bothering me more so than like any. Maybe it's like, what do I care about? It's like, dude, like, come on, like, you're embarrassing yourself, man.
Well, it seems like you care about this person on a personal level to make like, if you're someone who's staying inside like 24 hours a day and like you haven't left your house unless you're actually quarantining from getting over the virus, or you think you may have been exposed by the virus, I get that. But your 2 weeks are up, you don't have it, then you can kind of go on with, not obviously your regular life, because no one's really doing that. But I'm kind of like Tim, like I haven't stopped going, like I don't go to the grocery store as much as I used to. If I go, I try to knock it out all in once. Maybe I go once a week, once every 2 weeks, and I try to order as much stuff online as possible. But like, I'm going out and, I take my son for a walk every day. I'll go outside and I'll go for a run. Not every day, because I'm not in immaculate shape like I was before this started, but had I been running every day, if I had the gumption to do that. But I think that there's a malaise that sets in too, like the being at home all the time. It's just kind of self-perpetuating that you get into this habit, like I talked about the habits before. Like, I was on a good habit, highly productive, highly efficient. I got so much done during the day. Every day, whether that be a weekend, whether that be a weekday, I knew what I had to do. I mapped out what I wanted to do. And when you're at home, like, you get lazy. It's not necessarily like slipping into depression or anything like that. Like, there's a huge difference from being depressed and being like sad about your surroundings because of what's going on.
In a fog.
Yeah. Like,
I'll tell you one thing I'm really worried about is when it's starting to happen already, but when more and more stores and places open up, there will be an attitude of things are beginning to open up. Don't you dare go to them. Parks are now available for you to use. Don't you dare go, though.
Yeah, but I don't mind that sentiment at the very beginning, because the one thing that you did, I get your side of it, and I actually agree with it. But I think that the one thing that people need to caution of when stuff first opens up again, like when we walk around town now, like even before any of this stuff is lifted, on the first nice day, the park was so packed. Like, people just like basically like sardine cans in there. That's the stuff that I would think that you would want to try to avoid right away. Like, you'd want a reintegration, and
sure, but
people aren't going to go and follow the rules anymore. Like, that's just not, people don't follow the rules with the stuff going on. Once stuff opens up a little bit, saying like, hey, you need to stand 6 feet apart of people who like you don't know, kind of thing. Like, maybe if that's the new ease of restriction, people just aren't going to follow that. And then you risk it, I guess.
Right, but these rules are only enforceable by individuals. There's no overarching force that can really enforce these things. And I don't think that becoming a snitch culture is healthy. And so I don't know. Like, yeah, if it's a sunny day, people have nowhere to go. They're going to go to the few places that they can go. And if they're open, There is nothing healthy in a society of people just pointing the finger and saying, how dare you go to this place that's open? Like that, you should, do everything you can to social distance. You should do everything you can to follow the rules, but don't just, I don't know. You see what I'm saying? Like there's a line here, and people are crossing it already.
But what I'm saying is that I don't think that people are necessarily going to snitch on other people for going out, but I can see people's hesitation to jump right back into it.
It happens every day. How many people, when people went to the beaches in Florida, said, look at all these people here not social distancing, even when, weeks later, Florida didn't have an eruption. Georgia isn't having an eruption.
Hey, this isn't coming out for 3 weeks. This isn't coming out for 3 weeks, pal.
Okay, well, after the 2-week incubation period, and in Florida's case, a 4-week incubation period on the beaches, that didn't happen. Why? Because people we're thinking, if I can't do it, you can't do it. And we're just really, I don't know. There's something, I saw this online, and I saw it a lot of places, that people were almost sort of rooting for failure.
I agree with. I agree
You're
with
seeing
you.
that for sure.
You're seeing all the people that, when they first put out those modeling curves, X amount of people are going to die and it's super highly inflated. Now that might have just been a scare tactic to get people to stay at home for one thing, and that was a lot of those early models that came out where if we do nothing, if we just continue life as it is, this is what we project. And obviously, life didn't continue that way. Stuff changed immediately, so obviously it was going to curb a little bit. But yeah, there are people rooting for this to be bad, whether it be, well, I want the president to be wrong. I want him to look as badly as possible. None of that shit should matter. What should matter is that people are going to be okay and go through it all. But I think that there's a huge discrepancy, Tim, between what you read online and people's comments on Twitter or Reddit or whatever, and how people actually feel in real life about this.
I agree, but the people who are in control of the national conversations happen to have an outsized role on the platforms you just mentioned.
Yeah, but so few people actually use these mediums. It's just everyone uses these mediums.
Maybe, sure.
But what happens? Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, because I was going to just go a little sideways. So if you're directly countering this.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, what percentage of the, North American population is actually on Twitter? 7%?
Yeah, but that's true. But how many people are, consuming more news than they did 6 months ago? I don't know, probably 80% of people are consuming more news than they used to do because they have a lot more time on their hands.
Maybe. I'm actually consuming less news than usual.
Yes, but because you and I are weirdos. We consumed way too much news to begin with.
Sure.
The average 9-to-5er who didn't that consumes it a lot more.
But the guy who's afraid to go get a pizza is the guy that's watching the 3 daily press conferences from local and from federal and from provincial governments, daily still. So that's all part of it. My question is, obviously this was all done to keep the hospitals from getting overwhelmed, and we've, to a certain extent, we've curved, even if there have been deaths, because there has been a level of curve that existing without any social distancing practices. But why won't the hospitals get overwhelmed when we come back out there?
No, that's that's the new level of fear that people are now living under. Is that,
or it's in June, if your last name is from A to I don't know what's letter 13. You know what I mean? You can go out in June, and then from July it's the second half of the alphabet. I don't know what's the plan.
Well, I think that a lot of it had to do with the initial concern about places being overwhelmed. Hospitals wasn't just because there weren't enough hospital rooms for people. It's that there wasn't enough equipment for people for what they had projected. But it does seem like most places have caught up to the potential top end need because of the intervening 4 months. The quarantine.
Yes.
The quarantine and the social distancing did seem to work in flattening the curve, and like they said that it would do, and it hasn't happened anywhere. I was looking at the latest curvatures for all these different countries. Canada and the US are both still at some of the highest risk in the world versus a lot of these other places because it didn't stick here as much as the actual practices of quarantining and sticking to it. The outbreaks that we get are weirdly clustered. And a lot of it.
We're massive countries that are federations where central power doesn't exist, right?
It is, but
unlike most countries are not federations. They don't have provinces or states that have a ton of independent authority. United States and Canada are very rare like that. There's not a lot of places on Earth like it. And we also are geographically so massive that it's very difficult to do the sort of things that South Korea can do, or that Hong Kong can do. It's not that we have different values. It's just that certain things just aren't possible. That's why.
But so essentially quarantining, and obviously I should be aware of this, is essentially done. So when we do get out and have the outbreak, the hospitals have now stocked up and they're ready for the mass input that's about to hit them when we're all allowed back.
Yeah, this was never about getting rid of the virus. It was about flattening the curve so that the hospitals will be ready. And one of the concerns I have is that there almost seems like there's a bit of a bait and switch between we were actually always just wanted to control the virus, not the curve. And people aren't dumb. People will know if you have been lying to them. They are not going to sit here and go, oh, that's right. That's what we originally all bargained with in March. If you're saying, well, actually, no, we did the thing we all agreed we were going to do, but what we really meant was this other thing. That's changing the terms of the debate. And that, even if those terms should be changed, because that would be good, it is very, very dangerous to do that with free peoples and free societies who will know that that is not what they agreed to initially. And that's not how social contracts work.
Even when you get the information, you look at it, you're like, I'm sure there's shit like this that pops up all the time and people ignore it. And it should be ignored.
I do think that the CCP bear a little bit more responsibility than anybody else.
Sure, but like, what are you going to do about that? Honestly, like, I remember when I first started this, I had a guest on, and she said, like, we need to get retribution from China. It's like, good fucking luck with that. Who's going to help? Like, how do you actually hold them accountable?
I have no idea. I really don't know.
I think the answer is you can't.
Well, it's not that you can't. It's that would the cost be worth it? And maybe the answer is no to that.
All right, I got a Dear Cut. This has been a bit too serious for Cust Corner. I got a Dear Custy.
It has been. We should do some nonsense to lighten things. This is like when I listen to the sad songs. I do it so that I get even more excited when the happy songs come on.
You realize that show would have come out like a month ago.
Exactly, and I know that our listeners are close listeners and know the reference because I trust them.
You totally forgot and you thought it was the same show.
You don't know what I know.
Dear Custy, this comes from Daniel. I'm a big fan of movies and the whole movie-going experience. The discussions between you, Pat, and Geoff inspired me to try to involve my girlfriend in the movie-going experience. She has the DFL movie take of all time. She prefers watching a YouTube synopsis of the movie. She is the perfect example of a millennial destroying the movie industry. Can you please talk sense into this woman? Save me, Top Cat. Dan.
Well, Dan, listen, the only reason these synopses are possible is because filmmakers are going out there and making the film. Why read the book? There's just a movie adaptation. Is the same approach. Explain to her, though, that she's not getting the full, rich experience of watching a movie when you watch the synopsis. I don't watch a movie just to see how the plot goes from point A to point B to point C, but I want to see everything that's up. Like it's a visual and sensual experience, right? You experience with your senses, your sound, your sight, your I guess just really those two. You experience the movie in that sense. And so when you just watch a synopsis, yeah, you know what the movie's about. It's like the people who in high school would read Cliff Notes on Romeo and Juliet so they could pass the test.
No. That's a different situation.
They know what happened, but they didn't really read Shakespeare.
I get that point, but that's a completely different situation. You read the Cliff Notes to pass a test. There's no test involved with this.
Sure, but if the goal is to just know what the movie was about, which is what watching those synopses are all about, then sure, but that's mistaking what the point of movie watching is, which is to sort of take on for a couple of hours to suspend the world you're in and to enter into the mind and memories and experiences of the filmmaker. And you do yourself a disservice when you just short circuit that experience. So that's how I would explain it to her, because she's mistaken.
Yeah, I find it really crazy that why even, like, if that's all you were going to do, to watch a YouTube synopsis of it, why wouldn't you just go to like IMDb and read like the 3 lines about what the movie is?
And it's weird because a lot of millennials these days are doing the opposite, right? When the trailer for a movie comes out, they spend 6 hours breaking down every single frame in it to like really blow it out. So I'm not used to
you really think that like the very niche end of the internet represents all people, don't you?
This is what I am. This is what I encounter. This is what I see.
You're going to say this is how the truth that you live, isn't it?
No, I didn't say that, and I wouldn't have said. I'm just saying, I think that there's a lot more of these hipster millennials spending time breaking down every frame of what's on TV rather than like condensing everything into 2 minutes. That's all.
What would you think, Jeff? Do you think that more people are? Do you how the frame by frame culture and people consuming it? Do you think that's a super high majority of people?
No.
No. The answer is no.
No. I'm happy to be on the right side. I don't know, man. The movies as a whole are this has been another debate in and of itself within the movie industry, because there was an amazing release of the Trolls 2 movie that was such a video on demand hit that they almost said that even after this they're gonna have some straight to VOD. And then theater chains started to say, if you do that, we're going to boycott all your movies.
Wait, what? Say that again?
I don't know if you saw these stories, but a couple weeks ago, the Trolls 2 movie did over 100 million, on video on demand release, on its first weekend during the quarantine. It was such a massive success for them. We could debate it. I think it's more of a kid because it's a kids movie. I could see why kids' movies VOD would be such a greater commodity. But Universal Pictures went out and said that they might use this regularly going forward. They were so impressed. And then AMC Theater shot back and said, if you go right to VOD, video on demand, we will not put anything in the theaters. You can't play both sides here, is sort of what AMC was threatening Universal with. And it was just over conjecture, over reports that Universal might do this. AMC felt that they had, it was in their vested interest to publicly throw a shot saying, do not do that, or your pictures will not be in our theaters, period.
I can tell you though, some I would never watch Tenet for the first time on my TV, or No Time to Die on my TV first. That I need to see as the filmmakers intended. And heaven forbid if I can't watch that.
Yeah, I mean, what would happen? Would you just say that it's over? I can't watch Tenet in 70 mil IMAX, and therefore, it's just
that's the
over.
way it needs to be watched. Because some people,
I'm sure that's the prefer. I'm sure that is the.
Some people,
listen, I would prefer to watch it that way as well. It was like 1917. I went to the theater to watch 1917 because I thought that was a movie that I should watch on the big screen with the sound, because that's how it was going to be made. But AMC has to come out and say that to Universal, or they're going to go out of business.
Oh yeah, of course they do. Of course they do. It's an empty threat, but they have to say it anyway.
But the VOD thing, I think it works for some things. I think it works for other things. People like going to the movies. I don't think that's going to go away. It might get scaled back a little bit, but we've seen that just over the past 10 years anyway. The box office isn't as big as it was 10 years ago. And these opening weekends for certain movies, sure, but the overall box office is down, at least in North America. But I think that some people are conflating quarantine numbers with actual numbers, though. So Tiger King, for example, if the quarantine isn't going on, I bet you no one really cares about Tiger King. The Michael Jordan documentary series, that it would be a big deal, but it wouldn't be like it was, because no one has anything else to watch. So if a kids movie comes out, people have their kids at home and they need something to distract them, as Jeff was kind of alluding to, that maybe more kids movies end up being shown at home because that's just easier for parents.
I agree with all that.
Disney Plus decides to release some of their Disney movies, although those are particularly the ones that are released for the big screen. But maybe there's another niche market of these kids movies that they just release on Disney Plus and they do just as good.
Sure.
I don't even think Disney Plus though, because they'd have to get some of the hot money for. I mean, you could have the Disney Plus specials, but even if Disney went this route with new releases for kids movies, I still think it goes to VOD for that premium price up if people want to buy it hot. If that makes any sense.
No, I get that. I get that a lot. But maybe the compromise is the VOD costs more than going to the theater. Maybe that's a way to entice people to go to the theater. But
if you got 3 kids and 2 of them really want to watch it and one of them's a little young, I don't know. It's worth it paying a few extra bucks. I don't know. I don't understand why Universal was talking so publicly about such a success and potentially changing its format over a kids movie is all I'm saying. I don't think that kind of proves a ton. Kids movie in quarantine doing fantastic in a VOD, straight to VOD. I don't think that proves a lot.
No, I just think that case testing anything during with what's going on right now is not going to give you accurate results. It's like everyone who wants like whatever new testing or whatever new drugs that are coming out to treat like the virus, like, oh, good, you have a 2-week sample with 12 people. Like, that's not science. Like, you need a bigger sample than that. You need time to figure out if this stuff is true, but everyone just wants it to be done right now. That I think that goes beyond, like, that's just how testing has to work in general. So if you're testing drugs on a certain test case, that's one thing. If you're testing a market sample size of VOD products based on a very isolated incident, which you don't expect to continue 6 months from now, or at least society will be different, their consuming habits will be different, I don't really know what that's telling you.
And some filmmakers would just never tolerate VOD to begin with.
I mean, they
also,
might. I mean, you'd be surprised that not every filmmaker is the artiste that they claim to be. They're going to start doing where the money ends up going. And if movies aren't being shown in theaters, chances are they're probably not going to make a whole bunch of movies for theaters.
If movies can't be shown in theaters, movies can't get physically made. Then, right? How do you make them? How do you if things are so bad in 8 months that we can't go see movies in theaters? The idea of making movies becomes, just for insurance reasons, becomes an impossibility.
No, because look at how much content is being produced by streaming services and movies that will never end up going to the movie theater as it is. Like if you make a Netflix movie, that's not going to be shown in theaters, and you get
no. But I think he's talking about the ability to actually produce, like have them shoot the scenes.
Yeah, then you go shoot your movie in like Colombia or something.
It's not going to happen, right? That's my point. It's just not going to happen.
That's why Tim was, I don't know whether it was during one of our previous shows or off air, that he's crying because all productions are delayed, that he's worried about next year's, like,
how am I going to see This Is Us next year? There's no way I'm going to see This Is Us. They left in a big I need to know what happened. I'm not going to get a chance to know what happens because that probably won't come back for 2 years. And if it doesn't come back for 2 years, well, then all the people who are a certain age have grown too old and we'll lose that plot line. Don't you think that doesn't bother me? I've spent 4 years of my life invested in that show. And many of us have in all these various network TV shows. They're just not going to come back because filming probably starts in like a month or 2 months from now for the fall. And that's not going to be able to happen. And so what am I going to do? I can't even watch my network shows.
Dave just got renewed for season 2.
What did?
Dave?
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
You're big on Dave, aren't you?
I'm into it. There's a lot of like, I can laugh at, I see some of my friends and I just see some things there. Like the Blackfish fan, like put me on the floor.
Tim and I have met some Fish fans in our time.
Oh, have we ever? At a fish event, at a festival where fish played.
They played 2 shows during that festival. Like that whole culture, it's the same as like the Grateful Dead culture. Is like these people tour with them from place to place and like peddle their wares out of like old VW bugs. Like I just that just blows my mind. Like I don't.
That's
get that.
The life they want.
Okay, I know a guy who had this is a really good friend of one of my good friends. So that's like kind of an acquaintance for sure. And his parents, like very successful parents, could do anything. I'm sure they're devastated with what he does. But this guy literally like drives around like selling like hummus, paying like at these fish shows to like pay to keep going to fish shows. It's fucking disturbing.
If that's the one thing in your life that you want to do, he's doing it. Like I don't feel passionately about anything in my life that I would want to commit everything to it. Do you?
No.
Like if someone said during the course of the NFL season that you had no other responsibilities, you didn't have kids, didn't have a job, your job was to follow around the Chargers from place to place, you would probably take that, wouldn't you?
That'd be cool. I think like as an adult, like literally following around the PGA Tour would be cool, but that'd be boring. Like golf spectator, like I go to one event like a year and that's like more than enough unless I'm going to be at like the Masters. That's obviously different. But no, I wouldn't. But if you told me like I could travel, I was part of the team traveling party for the year, that would be different. Like I'm on the sidelines for games. I have locker room access. But no, just to be like a fan, taking a like flying commercial in and out of games and paying, like doing my own thing. No, that's not appealing at all.
Yeah, I can't think of a single thing that I would care enough about outside of like my family that I would want to go do that. Like it would just get boring, wouldn't it, Tim?
I'm the type of person that takes a lot to get bored. So no, I think if I could follow around the Jets for an entire season, that might be fun for one. I wouldn't want to do it the rest of my life, but if you told me for one season, 4 months, go travel every game, go to every single game, sort of be a roadie for the team or whatever. You know what? I'd never do it again. So why not? That would be fun. Or like go to every single home game for a baseball team that one particular season. That would be kind of neat.
Sure, but
but the people
you
don't want to do it once. But
yeah, but the people that we met, whether it be like we met the fish heads, we didn't meet the dead heads,
but their brains were fried.
It seems like when you're into this is now your lifestyle. It's not like
Yeah.
I did that. I followed around fish for a summer. I'm done. No, like this is your career now.
Yeah. I don't get
that's
it.
right.
I don't get it, and I don't get them. And it's like they'll play like 40-minute musical interludes. Like,
Oh, yeah, their
say
songs go
3
on for 2
words.
hours.
Like it's so weird. And trust me, I know. Oh my god. And me and my friends will make fun of our friends who like it, and like they'll go on these like Reddit boards or like there's this like Google Doc. Like every time they play a song, like it's inputted. It's like, did you see what they played? Like holy shit. Like, oh my God. Every Jewish guy knows 1 or 2 guys that like are fish obsessed. I don't get it. I don't get it. Never
No,
got
they're
it.
no Dave
Never
Matthews.
I spent my adolescence enjoying Dave Matthews and can look back and laugh at myself now. We'll say that.
I will say, I think we've brought this up before, but the only people that I know that like Dave Matthews at this point are like 27-year-old Jewish dudes. That's it. It's not all of them, but like if I do see people like going to my 38th Dave Matthews concert, I can assure you that they're all Jewish.
100%. But man, Dave,
But I guess my question is, why is Dave Matthews Jewish? Like I don't get it. What's that?
I'll effort that.
I don't know how to explain it, but he just hit a chord with us like summer camp Jews. Like you have no, like I'd go to Jewish summer camp, Pat, and the flock, like the bus is rounding out that place is like Dave is playing the Molson Amphitheater here in Toronto. Oh God. I remember going to a Dave show in the middle of an NFL draft once, and then the Leafs swept the Islanders the next day. Same building. What a little mix. The draft was on a Saturday.
Dave
Back in the
Matthews.
good days, yeah.
Dave Matthews is of African American and Jewish descent.
Like Lenny Kravitz.
He doesn't. I don't
He
see.
he plays it up too. Like I don't know what he's doing, but there's something that he's like hypnotizing us.
He immigrated to Israel one time too. I think in the 90s. I saw a story about.
Yeah, I never
very
got.
on
I thought
brand.
maybe you could share some insight to that because I just never understood it. Because like Dave Matthews,
I don't really have an insight why, but I know it's everything you're perceiving is absolutely true. It's absolutely true. I don't know what sort of brainwashing he's able to do to young Jews, but it's happened.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's gotten the next generation, my generation for sure. Like I got swept up in it. Oh my God, I'm embarrassed. Okay.
Like, is it male and female, or is it just male?
Primarily male, but also incredibly popular with the females. Yeah.
All right, I wanted to bring this one up because I've been obsessing over it for some time, and I just find it funny every single time I look at it. Tim, I shared with you the new versions of Monopoly.
Yes.
So there's Miss Monopoly, there's Millennial Monopoly, there's Socialist Monopoly. That one's actually a parody game, which people on the internet get very triggered about. But Miss Monopoly is the craziest thing in the world.
Yeah, I don't know what. I guess they're trying to virtue signal.
Like all these versions of the game are clearly like three old white dudes at Hasbro were like, you know how we can hit a different demographic? We'll make Miss Monopoly and just make it like the worst thing ever. That's insulting to everyone. Like
but she has a new hat.
Yeah, basically. Like in Miss Monopoly, when you pass go, if you're a female player, you get $240 instead of the $200 that a man would get for playing the game. Now, if these want to be the rules to your game, that's fine. That just seems like a really weird thing to put in a game.
That's not healthy. That's not help. Like Monopoly is already cutthroat and nasty enough to like impose upon it like further, I don't know, socio-political considerations. I don't know. I don't go in for that.
Yeah, so in the company, the statement made by the company said, it's a fun new take on a game that creates a world where women have an advantage often enjoyed by men. But don't worry, if men play their cards right, they can make more money too. I get the sentiment behind that. I see what it's trying to do.
You know, when I played board games, there's nothing I want to do more than to encounter being taught social lessons from my moral betters at Hasbro. That's really what I am looking for when I play a board game with friends or family on a Saturday evening. And I'm so grateful that opportunity has been afforded to me.
So
Hasbro is taking over the world, man. They're spending billions on like Peppa. They've bought up so much kids content. It's incredible.
Oh, they own Peppa Pig?
They bought it for like billion. Yeah.
I believe is banned in China, Peppa Pig. They do not care for Peppa Pig.
What?
Not banned in this
The government, because apparently she's immoral. I don't watch the show. I know the Chinese government at least has strong takes against Peppa Pig.
I thought that was China bans Peppa Pig because, let's see here. This is from the Independent. China bans Peppa Pig because she, quote, promotes gangster attitude. I never got that. Not gonna lie to you. Did not get that from when my son watches Peppa Pig.
And we get it. It's a very popular show here. I've never gotten like gangster attitude from Lily.
No,
so,
and it's just like, hello, I'm Peppa Pig. Hello, Mrs. Horse. How are you today? Like that's the entire show.
Sounds like a low rent version of Babar. Maybe kids should just watch Babar instead.
No, Tim. It's too rich. Tim is his king elephants.
Yeah. Oh,
I liked Babar.
Don't worry about your pleb cartoon shows for the children. You need to talk about King Babar.
That was a great show, and I will defend it. I think it's probably more wholesome than 95% of what's out there these days.
I was into Babar.
Thank you. Of course you were. It was on TV. We didn't have a choice of being into things or not.
It's
There's only
true.
like 6 things on TV, so that's what we watched.
All I'll say about this Miss Monopoly thing, though, is just go to Twitter and type Miss Monopoly into the search bar and just read the top comments because it is fucking hilarious. Like
there are people for whom I'm sure.
No. I just mean the amount of jokes about this are very good.
I'm sure there are.
And they're coming from, like, it's one of the few ubiquitous things that both the left wing and the right wing both have a problem with, that everyone's just kind of converging in the middle and making fun of this one thing. It's perfect. It's Miss Monopoly, bringing people together. But there's also other ones. Like, you can play, so the same people that created Ms. Monopoly for the advancement of feminism through Monopoly, probably the poor choice, like Tim pointed out, that there's Monopoly Socialism, which is a parody game, but there's also like a real Monopoly for millennials, and it sounds like if Tim made the rules. I swear to God. So it's the same people that applied their idea of feminism onto Monopoly, applied their idea of millennials onto it, which is, Tim, your stance on millennials. Would you like to hear about the rules?
I'm all ears.
Geoff, tell me if this sounds like something that Tim would come up with. They've decided to, quote, give you a break from the rat race because it's not all about money, Geoff. This game is jam-packed with millennial stereotypes, like Pennybags standing in front of a vegan restaurant, and he's wearing blue Ray-Bans and earbuds and carrying a coffee-to-go cup.
That's exactly what they would be doing, too. That's how
Same-
that's how millennials live their lives. That's a fact.
You're a millennial.
No, okay, but the millennials who engage in millennial cult, I guess no one can see me doing the finger quote thing. Millennial culture. That's them. That's who they are.
Of course, the game tokens are not your normal shoe or thimble. It's a camera, emojis, a bike, a hashtag, and sunglasses. Well, avocado toast is, quote, our fave. Ray-Bans are on fleek. That's why the Ray-Bans are a piece. Tim, this sounds like you wrote it.
I wish I did. I would have gotten some of the royalties. But this sounds like a very accurate depiction of millennial life. So
Forget real estate, quote, you can't afford it anyway, the board game box reads. It's all about collecting experiences by visiting the hottest destinations.
That's actually that's pretty good.
So instead of buying property, Geoff, you get to spend time on your friend's couch or go to a vegan bistro or a week-long meditation retreat.
I think I would rather be put through a hamburger grinder than go to a vegan bistro.
Would you have problem with vegan food on the whole, or is it the concept of veganism?
All of it. I don't like any of it.
I mean, I'm not a vegan, but I've been to vegan restaurants. They make good food.
Maybe they would, but I'll never know.
I'm with you.
Well, if you ever come to Toronto again, I'll take you to one because you know me, I hate that type of stuff as well. I went to one of them like on a date, and it was actually really good. I didn't know it wasn't meat, and like
I was going on a first date, and the lady said, "Let's go to this vegan place." I said, "You know what? Let's save our time."
There was like cheese fries, like it was like you would like the food there. I was shocked. I didn't know it was vegan until I got there.
I guess in theory there are things I know I would like that don't come from an animal.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like I could, but I don't need. I would just go to.
I think I'm more offended by the bistro part than the vegan part.
Listen,
You're not in Paris. You're not on the Champs-Élysées. You're in Toronto. You don't get to call yourself a bistro. Come on now.
Listen, Tim, I never went back to the place. It's not like I was
I mean, like people are like, oh, I went to Toronto to go to a bistro. Like, unless you've been to France and gone on the Champs-Élysées, or you've been, maybe somewhere.
Hold on a second. Well, you may be right. This has never stopped you before from proclaiming things, saying, I don't need to go anywhere to experience something.
To experience a bistro? Yeah, I think you actually do have to.
So you have to go to France to experience a bistro, but for Italian food, you don't need to go to Italy. You can eat Chef Boyardee.
That can be imported. That can be imported. The cuisine can be imported. The bistro experience, it just can't.
Yeah, you're really just talking yourself in circles here, pal.
It's a cheap facsimile.
4th annual Top Custradiction right there.
Before we get out of here,
Make a note.
Can I talk about one subject?
Yes, go ahead.
I am so frustrated with the concept of serving sizes. Who are these people to tell me what the right serving size is for anything? Everyone is different. Everyone needs a different amount of stuff. Everyone likes a different amount of stuff. For some people, a serving size is way too big. But for me, if you're telling me my service size is the size for 3 people, who are you to tell me that? That's what I need if I'm hungry.
Tim, do you know who? Yeah, this is the same thing that I think Geoff and I have talked about this for years. Like the biggest difference between America and the rest of the world when it comes to unhealthiness is serving size. Is that you just don't need that much food. You don't.
Maybe I don't, but you know what? I'll decide that. Don't you try to judge me through the box.
No. No one is judging you. The health society is telling you don't need this much. You are choosing to be unhealthy. You should just be made aware of it.
They're trying that. No, it's all a judgmental thing. It's like, oh,
no, it's not. You just don't want to be shamed for eating an entire thing of frosting.
No. I don't think that frosting comes with serving sizes. I'm talking about some frozen box of wings or whatever. It's like, oh, this serves 4 people. No, it doesn't. It serves me. That's who it serves.
Yeah, but that's like talking about it in an appetizer sense, probably not in your main course.
Well, then maybe that. Well, fair enough. But you know what? Then they don't know what I'm eating it for. So how the heck should they be the the deciders of my fate to tell me what my serving size is? Oh, this cake serves 6. No, it doesn't. It serves me, and then it serves me again tomorrow, and that's who it serves. I am so annoyed by serving sizes. The world has got enough things that are screwed up in it right now. I don't need these people judging me on my food amount choices from the box and from the microwave and from the label. Don't need it. Don't want it. think it's dumb. I think we should do away with the whole serving size culture. Because again, for some people, a kid's meal is more than for an adult is all they need. For other people, they need 4 cheeseburgers. I mean, so
honest to God, who needs 4 cheeseburgers?
If you're hungry, you're hungry.
Hold on, little guys from McDonald's, I could rock 3 at least.
Yeah, I'm not saying that you can't eat that much. What I'm saying is, has anyone ever needed to eat 4 cheeseburgers at McDonald's in one sitting?
Well, if they're hungry, they're hungry. I'm not in the business of judging people and telling what they need to have and what they don't. I'm telling people, like a serving size to me should just mean how much you should eat until you're full. That's what a serving size is.
Also, that's not how you're supposed to eat. You're supposed to give yourself a little wiggle room because your brain doesn't comprehend the fact that you're full until you're well past full.
I don't care. I don't.
So you feel shame that you eat too much, and
that's a decision for me to make, not for the box.
You are making it. You're the one who's making it. You just know it. You know it's wrong, and you don't want to do it, but you don't want to have to feel shame for it. You don't want
it's wrong.
You don't want to have to do something and then live with the consequences of it.
No, it's that I don't think that there are the consequences they think there are. Oh, this frozen lasagna feeds a family of 6. No, it doesn't. It would feed 3 people if they were all like kind of full, and 2 people if they're hungry.
If they were the people from my 600-pound life, sure.
No, see,
they're factoring in children for some of those things, though, right?
And
like
also,
when they say family, they're factoring in like 2 kids or whatever.
And serving size, especially on the side of a box, allows you to see how much is in the actual serving size. They're not saying that like one serving size is for like, let's say you have a bowl of cereal, but you have like you fill it up. Instead of 1 cup of cereal, it's 2 cups of cereal. At least then you can measure what is actually going into your body by serving size. Just because it says serving size doesn't necessarily mean that you need to eat the 1 serving size. You can eat 2 of it if you want it. They're just telling you the health benefits that goes into 1.
Now, serving size is a racket. That's what it is.
It doesn't live the same truth as you, so you don't like it.
It's a complete and utter racket because there are so many different people with so many different dietary needs that it is an impossibility.
Tim, a dietary need isn't I want to eat as much as possible until I can't stand anymore. That's not a dietary need. That's gluttony.
And all of these things always say like recommended, like the average person's diet. So they're talking about
who are they to
like
recommend what I eat?
They're talking about
who are they to recommend how much for me to eat? If I want to eat a whole sleeve of Oreos, I'm going to eat a whole sleeve of Oreos. If I want to eat 2 because this box is supposed to feed 12 people, then I'll have 2. Don't judge me. Don't tell me what my serving size should be. I'll decide my serving size.
You shouldn't be eating 2 sleeves of Oreos, Tim. I'm sorry. I'm judging you.
If you're starving and that's all you have in the house, then that's my dinner.
Go leave the house and go get food.
That's happened. How often do you have 2 sleeves of Oreos for dinner?
But it's happened.
With orange juice.
Yes, with orange juice or with sparkling water. It's happened. Oh, yeah.
You know, you built yourself a lot of credibility through the first 40 minutes of this show by being a reasonable person with reasonable takes. Now you're talking about having 2 sleeves of Oreos for dinner and dipping it in fucking orange juice.
It's happened. I'm not saying I'm looking forward to ever doing it again. I'm not planning to. But it's happened. Sure. Okay. Why not? It's the only thing you got in the food. It's really cold. Fridge or the cupboard or whatever. It's really cold outside. Whatever. I don't really care. Let's just eat these. And then you say, oh, well, your suggested serving size is 2 cookies. Find me someone on this planet who can eat 2 Oreos, and I'll find you a person who's lying. You can't just eat 2 Oreos.
It doesn't say suggested serving size. It just says serving size. You know that, right?
Yeah, well, that's it's there because it's the suggested
size. So
like,
you have decided that it is inferring something it is not, and then chosen and then now you choose to be triggered by it.
3 is
this is you living your truth more than anything I've ever heard of.
No, it's not my truth. I think that it's impossible to know what a proper serving for everybody is. And because it's so generic, just do away with it. Just if you want to give health benefits for how many grams of sugar or carbs, whatever, do it on a 1 unit basis or do it on 100-gram basis. Just find some neutral base.
That's what the serving size is. You just go look at it. When you look
of 2 cookies. No one's ever had a serving of 2 Oreos. No one on God's green earth.
You realize that if you have 4, you can just double that, right?
But then that's making me feel like you ate twice as many as you should.
Not as many people are triggered by the side of a box like you are.
That guilt. No,
it's just because you're at a line and feeling shame because of it. That's the only reason you care.
You
I'm
shouldn't
on
feel
the right side of it.
You shouldn't feel guilty. Enjoy what you enjoy.
Yeah,
like,
they're
thanks,
just
it's
trying to
just
let you
family
be
wants.
conscious of the fact that you're
Yeah.
you're taking on a lot of calories. That's
the
it. You don't have to
fact
feel
that-
guilt
the fact
if
that
it's
you've welcomed heart
taking care
disease
of it.
into your body is fine.
See, there you go
You
again.
can
I-
choose to
people
do
are
whatever
like
you
that.
want.
Like
I'm-
fun-sized chocolate bars.
Yeah,
I love this. I think I don't even know. Like I can, might be right. He might be wrong.
He's not right. This is
obviously wrong.
crazy
No,
talk.
he's obviously wrong, but I am just obsessed. I can't wait to go back and listen to the start of this. That you are so worked up over what the box says, as if that applies to you, like a man, and what he wants for dinner is absurd to me. That this has gotten to you, and you can't see past why it's even there, why they would write it.
Just behavior control. I don't like it.
How often do you get meals that say can serve 6 people and then you eat it for yourself?
I don't know. It happens. Definitely with like pizzas or like frozen things.
How many frozen things come to say they can feed 6 people?
Lasagnas, chicken pot pies, shepherd's pies, there's stuff like that.
Look,
all this
Are you just like sad that you're alone?
That's very
no.
interesting.
No.
Because no, I'm just saying, like, you're like, yeah, it's all for me. It says it serves 6, but I'm going to eat this much now. I'm going to put it in the fridge and eat the rest later. But they're not telling you shouldn't eat the rest.
They're trying to
later.
control how much I should be. We think it would be best for you if you just ate 1/8 of this meatloaf instead of the entire thing.
It's not
Well, you know
telling
what?
you
I
that.
want
You know what?
the entire
Do you know what it is telling you? It's telling you how much of everything you need: vitamins, calories,
I don't
fat,
want to know.
sugar.
I don't want to know.
Then don't fucking look at it.
But it's right there glaring at me. I know it's there.
It's something that I like to look at because I like to try to parse out how much I'm eating every day. And you can absorb more calorie and more food than I can during the course of the day because you're bigger than I am. You're taller than I am.
well-
You're bigger than I am. I would just, on average, would have to eat fewer calories than you per day to just get my natural, healthy self going. Like,
Well, I guess the thing is, if they could make serving sizes that were tailored to me personally,
yeah, and
I'd
you'd
live
still
with
go over it because you don't want to be told
don't-
what to do.
I don't know. I guess that's the end of my rant here.
I'll give
but
you one thing, Tim. So on this one frozen pizza company, they do say like their serving size is 1/4. It's just like, why don't you just tell people what's in the entire pizza?
I think
Exactly.
I believe
No-
Don't make
I
people do
believe
the
it
math.
is standardized to try to get to to the same amount of grams or whatever unit that it's going to be grams that they're using, like how much of a thing is in a serving. And I think that's dictated so it can be ubiquitous across the board for different styles of food. Like if you have one pizza place because it just becomes confusing to people that if you didn't do it by 1/4 of a pizza and one of the other ones said, in the one serving that we're counting as a serving is the entire pizza, people will look and be like, what the fuck is going on? That if you can standardize it, it makes it easier. Tim, don't you remember this from the European pillars of the European Union class?
I do. I remember them measuring how much curvature there is in a banana and how many milliliters are in a tube of toothpaste and all that stuff.
So,
so-
for instance, this pizza has 46% of your daily fat, but it says 14% because it cuts it into
46%.
for a full pizza.
Yeah, 46%, as if they know what my percentage should be.
Yeah, that's based on somebody who consumes 2,000 calories a day. That's what it's for the average person. Some people are going to be more.
Well, I'm not an average person.
No, but
Yeah,
I mean,
you may be
I'm-
2,500 calories for a maintenance type of level. But
I'm
yeah.
me.
But
yeah,
then
you
then
just want to
factor
eat like a
those things in.
slob and not feel bad about it.
No, that's not what this is. It's not
Y-
about my
that-
private grievances.
Oh, really? Really? That's not what this is about.
I'm just annoyed, and I just wanted to make this point because I felt like people aren't hearing this enough. And I'm here to stand up for the average man who probably feels the exact same way I do.
Jeff, where do you weigh in on this? Jeff's gone.
I think Jeff's gone.
Yeah, Jeff went and made himself an entire pizza. He's going to eat 1/4 of it.
Oh,
He was humored by it, but I was humored by it, but he's absolutely nuts. Like I could imagine, like
That could be that by the way could be the tagline for this whole series.
no, but I imagine like me in university, like making a frozen pizza and like mocking that it says this is supposed to serve 4. I'm gonna eat this whole box. or me and my roommate like eating a whole tray of chicken fingers. Like, I don't know, it says it's for 7 people. Well, there's 2 of us and we're gonna eat it all. No one cares, no one's offended.
Anyway, thought we should go out on a happy note because I was thinking about this.
Well, I'm going to give you some time back, and you can go cook 87 chicken wings and eat them all in one sitting and then not feel bad
Thank
about
goodness.
Tim needs to entertain himself while he's microwaving his chicken wings. He's reading the side of the box, feeling sad.
it just comes down that you're getting box shamed.
I will not be shamed.
Well, it sounds like you're allowing yourself to be shamed. You could just not pay attention to it.
Sometimes it's good to be a little shamed.
Oh, yeah. A little bit of shame never hurt anyone, did it? Maybe it's
Can I make a suggestion that's going to like really annoy Tim?
Sure.
For the Corona world. So like historically, well, regularly I have to get like blood taken because of some health stuff earlier in my life. That's all cleared and perfect, but it makes me have to get blood taken, which is healthy because now my doctor can see, when anything comes up because I'm taking blood regularly. Yada, yada, yada. When I have to get my blood taken at the places that I go, I can like book a time. So if there's like 8 people in line that didn't book a time, I show up on my time. I go to the front of the line. It's just how it works. They have an online system. I believe this will anger Tim and it might not affect him because he doesn't live in like a populace like we do, Pat. But I believe I should be able to book my time to go to the store.
Yeah, the problem
in this world,
a lot of places you can do that for though, like for pickups, like at the place that my wife and I ate at the other night. Like they have pickup times. They're not doing delivery. You
okay,
can go-
food pickup. I think that's a great idea for like the curbside food. But I'm talking about like I want to go to the Walmart or the Target. I don't want to wait in a line around the corner.
I've got an order I got to go pick up here in a moment.
I want to book that if there's a slot available in the amount of people allowed, or they only allow X amount of slots to get booked because they're obviously still going to allow foot traffic in, the people that didn't. I just want to be able to book my time when I want to go to the drugstore or the stores or even the grocery stores. I want to see that.
I think that in theory that idea works out really well, but I think in practice there aren't enough people who would potentially have access to book this stuff, so then they're absolutely shut out of the entire process. There's other people that would just forget to do it, and then like they would need something. Like if you're dealing with essential things like drugstores, groceries, that sort of thing, I just don't think you can pull that off.
Yeah. See, I was thinking like a fast pass, like at the amusement parks, but you are right. It's not fair for me to go to Walmart and like bypass the line, but the lady might not have internet. You sort of made me see how I'm wrong.
Or it'd be even something like my grandma where she has the internet, but would have no fucking clue how to do that.
Fair enough. But like I said, like my parents, like this whole food delivery thing, like all these things that Tim got mad when Corona started, like everything he hated was kind of being expedited by this.
Oh yeah.
Mobile ordering, all that. Like they're going to like stick to a lot of their mobile habits that they certainly probably never would have developed. Like unless they were home stricken as they got older.
Yeah. Like the tech curve has really gone up for old people. Like they're not, I mean, Tim is still afraid to use the internet, but like older people who are just not fluent in tech and like ordering stuff or Amazon.
I just use the internet to make an order for something I have to go pick up.
There you go. Have you ordered anything off Amazon yet?
No.
Have you?
But I just ordered it. No.
So even you're doing it. Like you're the classic. I mean, you identify as a boomer, so this is.
But I just ordered a pizza that I have to go pick up.
There you go, and you're going to eat the entire thing and get triggered. It said it was for.
No,
5
I'm
people.
not going to eat the entire thing. But
what'd you get on it?
Papa John's, so he gets that garlicky stuff to put on the crusts.
What'd you get on it?
Yeah, what kind of pizza did you get?
What toppings?
I got a Works.
I see. I like the Works. The Works is probably my favorite kind of pizza.
It's up there.
I've been crushing barbecue chicken pizza.
Nah, I don't go in for those ones.
I mean, it's fine. It's like having chicken on nachos. Like I don't want chicken on my pizza. I don't want chicken on my nachos. Like
what about our friend who has nachos with just
chicken
and cheese?
That's fuck that. I don't mind. Like I can have nachos with chicken on them if everything else is on them. But yeah, we have a friend who gets nachos, cheese, and chicken. Like that's disgusting.
I like that. That's
it though. There's no salsa. That's it.
Oh, okay. No, I'd eat it, but it would taste plain. But I wouldn't mind it.
And of all the nachos that you could get, that would be your preference?
No, but I would still like. I would eat it. I don't know.
Sure, I'm not saying that I wouldn't eat it, but it's like the driest thing in the world. Like, give me some salsa, give me a whole bunch of veggies on it, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
What is your preferred pizza meat? If you can only add one meat on your pizza, what would it be?
Pepperoni.
Yeah, pepperoni. It's like the that's the staple.
I would say, I mean, it's the most common, obviously. I think I would go. I really like sausage on pizza.
Yeah, that would probably be
okay.
second.
Yeah, that would be. They're kind of in the same family. Pepperoni's just like I
Yeah.
mean, sausage is like fancier. If you're like,
I agree completely.
I feel like sausage is easier to distribute on a pizza slice and across a pizza than pepperoni. Because if you order a pizza, inherently, a few of the slices are going to have like more clumps of pepperoni on it. Or even if you buy a frozen pizza that's pepperoni, like you kind of have to move the pepperoni around or add the pepperoni to it. With sausage, where it's like smaller chunks, that doesn't seem to be as big of a problem.
Yeah, that's all true. But
We got
the flavor
real-
is better with pepperoni a little bit. So that's why I say it. But I agree with you pretty much down the line there.
we got real good pizza joints in this town. You don't need to get Papa John's.
Well, to me, that's a pizza joint, and I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, there's some, like, especially where you're at, like East Coast pizza is excellent. And that's like the antithesis of East Coast pizza.
I like chains. That should surprise nobody.
But you like Domino's. Like Domino's is better.
Love Domino's though.
I like Papa John's now too.
Why do you like Papa John's so much?
Because they have this stuff you put on your crust that's got this. Anyway, it's really good.
All I know
Sounds
is
very good.
like a month or two before Corona, everyone was making fun of the Papa John's guy for eating 30 pizzas in 30 days. And I'm telling you, that doesn't seem so crazy anymore.
It seems crazy not to.
Yeah.
But of course, his serving size is one slice of pizza a day, I'm sure.
What? You have the freedom, Tim, that's still within your control, that you can go over that if you want to.
Well, I intend to.
And you will. Then you'll be mad about it.
Probably.
There you go. All right. Tim, Jeff, thank you all for being here. Again, smash the like button for the episode. Leave a 5-star review on the Pat Mayo Experience. Follow me at the PME, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you want to watch all of the previous Cust Corners, hit the description of this podcast or video. They're all on demand for free up there right now. All right? Tell some friends, too. Everyone loves a Cust Corner. I'm Pat Mayo. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!